Okay, we're going to get started here. It looks like it's about 6:30 Eastern Standard Time and before 4:30 Mountain Time. Welcome to Week 3, Live Lecture 1. I just finished up a lot of your critique evaluations from your past projects, which were your menu cover designs and also your inside of your menus. So hopefully you guys are a little bit more familiar or comfortable with using style sheets, and because we're going to actually be using that as we go forward into the next project for week 3. We'll be doing a little bit of a different project, but we'll be using the same tools. We will also be using master pages as well. So hopefully you guys have a handle so far on how to use style sheets. If not, definitely go back, listen to the lecture that I gave in week 2. I did a step-by-step demonstration on how to use the character style sheets and paragraph style sheets. I saw that some of you guys didn't have any style sheets within your document, which, obviously is something that's going to be a problem if you hand in a project like that. So make sure you are creating these style sheets for your projects in this class. Okay, so as we go forward here, I don't have too much to go over other than some of the initial announcements, just telling you guys when everything's due. So all week 3 work is due by this Saturday before midnight, and then your initial post is due by Wednesday before midnight for discussion 3. That's your initial post, so make sure you're getting that in. Assignment 3, before we get into assignment 3, I want to check out, this is actually what it looks like for assignment 3. But before we get into assignment 3, I just want to check out the discussions for this week and make sure everybody is clear on what we need to do there. Let's take a look at that. And I'm actually going to mute my mic here for a second because I just literally sneezed a couple times before I came on here, and my nose is all stuffy and I don't want it to sound like I'm like talking out my nose. So give me 1 minute here. I'll be right back. Okay, sorry about that. Unmute myself here. Just had to blow my nose. This crazy weather. I don't know about you guys, but we're getting snow here in Pittsburgh, and it's a never-ending battle with the furnace being on all the time, having the windows open yesterday. So just trying to get used to that, I guess. All right, so this week we are going to be looking at the basically your principles of design is what we're going to be discussing. The prompt here, what you're going to do, you read all of this background information. I'm not going to kind of read that out loud because it's a lot. Just go ahead and read that on your own. But basically, you're going to visit this website. So you're going to click on this website or this one, Inspiration Feed, and look through the menu. Look through the menu art displayed there. You're going to choose an example that illustrates either powerful or poor use of elements of design. You're going to embed the image in your post and using the instructions from the video below, how to post photos. You're going to discuss your evaluation of the menu, if there has been any more, if there should have been more design elements, which would you have added, where and how. If you feel the elements were used appropriately, describe which elements were used and how they added to the unity of the overall appearance of the menu. For your citation, you might use articles that explain examples of good layout practices. You can also find articles from experts that describe the elements that you have found and their overall purpose. For your reply post, revisit the CRAP principles, contrast, repetition, alignment, and proximity. Address how the elements utilized within the examples create or diminish the CRAP principles. If the CRAP principles are weak, what elements might make them stronger? So these are basically the websites that you'll be checking out here, menu designs. So go ahead and scroll through there. I won't show the whole thing. So that's the first. That is the first link. The other one is here, 35 beautiful menus. So they're pretty much all menu designs. The examples are way down here. There we go. So go ahead and scroll through that, kind of have fun being inspired by what you see. Maybe there's something not as effective. Talk about that if that's the case. And bring up, each, or one or maybe more than one principle, design principle that you can talk about within your example that you chose. Okay. So pretty straightforward there. I think if you guys have any questions, just let me know, but I think it's pretty straightforward. So make sure you're getting that in, as soon as possible here. Quit out of my mail here so it's not popping open. Okay, so assignment 3, let's go ahead and take a look at that. We have pretty much this whole class is going to be a demonstration on how to set this up. I'm going to go step by step and show you how to set this up. So let's go ahead and look at it. I don't know why my computer seems a little on a lag here. Your assessment will also quickly go over once we're done with the assignment. It's basically the assessment is a postcard that you're going to create. The assignment 3 is a newsletter that you're going to start. This is part 1. Next week we'll do part 2. So this will be a 4-page newsletter, but you're going to only do 2 pages for this week and the other 2 next week. Okay. So the learning objectives covered is implement correct usage of master pages, define and apply a grid system to a page layout, utilize a baseline grid to align text and graphics in layout. So go ahead and read through this background information. It's kind of a nice little intro. And then don't get too freaked out. I mean, there's a lot of specifications here, but I think once we go through it, it won't be as overwhelming as it seems like it is here. So here's the student matter assets here, newsletter assets that you can download that all include the photographs that you need, style sheet specifications, graduation ad, everything that you need for this project. You want to click on this and download it to your assignment 3 class folder, wherever you have it on your computer. So go ahead and do that first, and we'll read through this here. Okay, so I just downloaded that. All right, so for the next, oh, excuse me, I'm having the case of the yawns today. I think I had a lot of sleep last night. I think that's my problem. Okay, so for the next 2 weeks assignments, you will be building a 4-page newsletter utilizing style sheets and master pages. So for this week's portion, you will complete the following. So the new InDesign document has to be 8.5 by 11 inches, 0.5 inch margins on top, left and right, 3/4 inch margin on bottom. It has to be facing pages, 3 columns, 0.25 gutter between columns, 4 pages. And then it goes on with the master page construction. So you should have a folio. So I'll show you how to start that. The auto page numbering, date, and name of publication. Baseline grid. Style sheet for headers, first paragraph, drop cap, subheads, and body copy. Page 1 cover. Sorry about that. Page 1 cover. Where was I here? Page 1. Page 1 cover layout, which includes, now I'm getting a phone call. Sorry about that, guys. which includes flag, logo, title of newsletter, table of contents, apply your knowledge of tabs here, feature article, sidebar with article. Pages 2 and 3 will be addressed in week 4, so just leave those blank. And then page 4, you're going to place a graduation ad that's already pretty much designed. And it's a PDF that's provided in that assets folder. You're going to have that on the top half of that page. The bottom half utilizes a mailing panel. You're going to remove the page number and any other elements from the page bottom here so that it is mailable. That's just on that page. All right, so you're encouraged to follow the general layout. From the example, you can focus on learning the tools. When you're finished with your design, create a package folder. Be sure that quality screen resolution PDF is included in your package, and then you'll zip it. Okay. All right, so we'll start with the basics here. Let's pretty much take a look at how we're going to approach this project. I'm going to go step by step into creating this so that it's easier for you to kind of start it. So I open up InDesign, and what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to take a screenshot of this. So Command-Shift-4 is the screenshot. I'm just going to kind of screenshot the specs so that I can bring it right into InDesign. Set my type. Okay. And let me stop sharing. And where am I at here? Let me set up something real quick here so I can actually open it. And share with you guys here. Where am I at? Okay, there we go. All right, so here is InDesign. All right, so what you're gonna do, let me get rid of this. Oh, it's not gonna let me do it. If I have to have a page in there. So let me put a page in here real quick and then I'll show you from the start. I don't know why it just does that. Okay, so you're gonna go, you won't see this page. You're gonna go up to File, New Document, and you're gonna create a document that's 8.5 by 11. If you guys can see this, let me pull this in. And your specs in the actual project is it has to be 8.5 by 11, a 0.5 inch, a half margin on top, left and right, and a 3/4 margin on bottom. So we're going to click where it says margins. We're going to put that in. So top, bottom, inside. The only one that we're going to change is the bottom. I'm going to change that to 0.75. Everything else stays the same. Now, if you have a problem with this changing every single one of these, when you type that in, just undo the link here. Just click on that one time. All right, we're going to do 4 pages, right? So see where it says pages? Type in 4. You want facing pages. This should be in inches, 8.5 by 11. Start at page 1. That's good. We're going to do 3 columns. I don't know, is there a gutter width? 0.25 gutter. So 0.25. This is all in the specs that I'm reading from your project. 4 pages. This looks good. Okay, and then click Create. I'm going to get rid of this one because we don't need that one anymore. Okay, so this is what it should look like when I zoom out. Pages. If you don't have pages up here on your panel, go up to Window and choose Pages. This is important because you want to be able to see your pages. You want to be able to click on them, edit them, and then also you'll want to change your master page here. And I know a lot of you guys are new to InDesign, so master pages might seem weird to you, but basically all that they are pages that you can set up for a document that you know is going to have the same repeated elements pretty much in the same spot on every page. So whether it be a 4-page newsletter or a 200-page book, there's always like a footer at the very bottom that pretty much stays the same. Maybe the page number changes, but there's elements that pretty much are very consistent. And instead of a designer going in and actually copy paste, and changing the page numbers, how long would that take, especially with a 200-page book? The master pages does it for you automatically once you set them up. So that's kind of the genius part of how that works, okay? So it's important to understand how it works. We're going to start creating a footer in master pages first so that you can play around with that and be more comfortable with it and understand kind of the purpose of it. All right, so this is kind of what it should look like here based on the specs. And I'm going to start off with creating your master pages first. I think that's important, and then we'll go from there. Okay, so the title of the magazine and that little folder, remember how I said you need to download that folder? It's called Student Matters. Let me just show you real quick what this looks like. I just clicked on that folder that I downloaded. This is what's in there. So Student Matters should be called. You have the article Word documents that go into each, I just opened this up, into the newsletter. And this is really how this comes to you, from clients who, I've worked for several publications. And this is pretty typical of how it comes to you. They'll send you like Word files, and then they'll give you maybe images, or say you need somebody doesn't have images and they want you to pick the best images for it, so you have to go out and do it yourself. They'll maybe even give you elements that go into whatever publication that you're working on. Here is the masthead. That's part of the cover part. And again, all the Word files are basically the articles, and then the image files are what you use for each of the articles itself. Okay, so that's what's in there. I wanted to show you that because we want to make sure we know what the newsletter's name is. It's called Student Matters. And we want to see the color of it because we can create a folio with that same color. So why don't we go ahead and let's place that in there first before we do anything, and then we'll do the folio. So go to your pages, go to your first page, number 1, and you're going to take the rectangle frame tool and go from the upper left-hand corner margin and just draw out a box that goes to the right corner margin. If you need to adjust it, just select your black arrow and adjust your bounding box. Just pull this down. It doesn't have to be a specific size. And then you can do either Command D, which is File Place, it's a shortcut key, or go up to File Place. You're going to find that folder that you downloaded, Student Matters, and you're going to place in the Student Matters head flag. Now, it's going to place this kind of in the middle here. What I would do is double click on it so that you can actually move it up and position, click off of it, and then position that bounding box so that it's perfectly aligned. Okay, so now you can take your eyedropper tool and sample colors from this so that we can use it in the newsletter and keep it consistent. So go ahead and sample that red color, take that eyedropper tool, sample that, double click on your fill, and then choose Add RGB Swatch and click OK. Same thing with the blue. Click off of it. Just click OK. Double click on the blue, say Add RGB Swatch, click OK. So when you go to swatches, you'll see the two here. If you don't see swatches on your panel, go up to Window. Swatches should be up here under Color. Okay. So here's the red and here's the blue. Okay, so this is just on page 1. Okay, so when I say that, I double clicked on page 1. I placed the masthead in. That's good. I'm going to save this DES105 assignment 3, and then my name. Okay, put this on the desktop here. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to set up a folio. And a folio is basically what appears on the bottom of publications, such as a newsletter. A folio sometimes can contain the name of the publication, the month, the series, the date, the year, and obviously the page number of a publication, okay? They're not always looking the same style. It's different on, other publications. But, excuse me. But it should align with this newsletter. So, if you're going to change it to a different color, it should probably align with the colors of the masthead. All right. So with that being said, we have to do this in the master page. Remember how I was talking about master pages before? Because what's going to happen is when we apply it to our master page, it's going to apply it to all of these pages and number it accordingly to the actual page number. And we won't even have to do anything, just to set it up at first. Okay. So a master is just what the default's called, and how to access it is you have to double click right on top of your page panel in a master on the left or the right, depending on which one you want to edit. And what will happen is this will open up your master page. So it's no longer, if I zoom out, you'll see, no longer those 4 pages that you saw anymore. It's your master pages. If I want to go back to my 4 pages, I just double click on the 4 pages. So it kind of like goes to the next tab in a way. So this is your master pages. Whatever you show on here, and I'll show you real quick. I'll put one here, and then I'll put another here. And you can see this being applied to my pages now. So if I were to go back, whatever was on my left A page is the sign on my left A page is the blue circle. Whatever's on the right is the green circle. Now you can't edit these, you can't delete them in this mode, but when you go back to your master page, you can actually move them and delete them. If your pages didn't have this A on them, see that little A? And it just had, and I'm clicking on this none page and I'm dragging and dropping it over top. It's actually making it just a default single page. There's no master page is going to be applied to this anymore unless I click on my master page and drag and drop it. And you have a left and a right, so you want to pay attention to that too, okay? As far as the spread. All right, now what we want is we want to have all of these have the A's on them for now, and we want to go back to your master page. Go ahead and click on that, and we're going to set up a folio. So folio is typically on the very bottom. Obviously there's exceptions in other creative initiatives that people take. But let's just keep it to the simple bottom part of our newsletter, just because this isn't like a crazy creative newsletter. It's just a basic informative newsletter. So we're going to take the type tool and we're going to go ahead and I would say drag and click underneath here under the margin, probably about this much space here to the right. And then you can always kind of adjust it, pull it down just slightly depending on the copy that's going to be placed above. You want to have some space in between. Okay, so we're on our left side. So what we want to do is we want to have the page number start here on the left side. When you look at a magazine, usually the page number is on the outside corner. With that being said, with the type tool and clicked inside your type box, go up to type on your menu bar. And you want to insert special characters, markers, and current page number. If you want to take a screenshot of that, sometimes it's hard because it's nested into 3 different places, but this is should say current page number. When you choose that, what comes up is the letter A. And you might think that's really weird, but that's just a character that's in place of what the page number will be once you click back into your actual pages. So that A for your left pages will change into that specific page number. So this one would be 2. The one that I set up on the right side of the page will be 3 once we switch over. Okay, so that's the page number. I'm going to put a space after that. And at this point, it's up to you. You can do some fancy stuff here. You can do, right under your delete keys, kind of like a vertical line. If you hold down the shift key and choose that and do another space, you have a nice little divider set up. Some people like bullet points. That would be a, oops, what are you doing? That would be a Option Alt number 8 on your keyboard. You know, there's all kinds of, and you don't even have to put anything. I'm going to put this little line because I like that. All right, it's like a little divider between the page number and everything else. The next thing I'm going to do is, should I put the name of the magazine? I think the name of the magazine and the date, I think that's what they said you need here. Hold on. It's a folio. Auto page number, date, name of publication. Okay. So the date, you know, it really doesn't matter if it's a specific date. I would just say 2018. I'm going to do another vertical line here. And then I'm going to do the name of the magazine, which is, what is it again? Student Matters. Now, you can always change the typography of this. It doesn't have to be the default Minion Pro. It doesn't have to be the default 12-point type. You can do different colors, whatever you want to do. What I would probably suggest is you might want to do a paragraph style sheet for this. So go to Paragraph Styles, do a new style. And this style you can name this folio, and then go ahead and change that basic information to whatever typeface that you want. I guess it's just going to be, I'm just going to do, see if I can find it, Helvetica. Helvetica New has a nice type family, and we'll do like a condensed bold. That might be kind of big. Let's do, yeah, let's leave it here and see what this looks like. And then we will change, I'm going to change this to 10-point type. And the color, we'll do blue. All right, because I had that selected, it changed to it right away. Now I want to show you something else. You can double click back into that paragraph style. There's also, let's see here. There's also, let's go to paragraph rules. There's a rule above that you can do, which is kind of a straight horizontal line that you can add to this. Let's hit preview. If you go to paragraph rules and say rule on, once you click on that and you have the preview, you can see the rule happening right underneath what we just did here. What we want to do is we want to offset this. So we want this above it. And this is something that you can do or not. It's completely up to you. I'm just going to put this in there. So that'll kind of offset it. You can see it kind of move on the left-hand side here. You can give it a thinner width by just choosing the width here. You can give it a different color, you know, so maybe if you wanted red for the line, it would change the color. Okay, so it's red. Move it down just slightly. And there we go. The next thing that you can do, you can set up tabs for this. If you select all with your type tool and go up to type and hit tabs, you can do a right justified tab on the very right side here. Whoops. It's right there. So you could do something like this. Take out that space or take out that bar and then hit tab so that the page number and date are on the left and then the actual name of the newsletter is on the right. All right, so that's how you correctly do it on this side. I would just copy and paste this over here. So do an Alt drag, and it'll copy that. Make sure it's on the same baseline. It's aligned. The only thing we need to do is swap this out so that the A, all of this, is on this side. So let's take the tab out of here. And let's copy and paste this. So I just deleted that and clicked right on the inside of Student Matters and hit tab, and then I'm going to do paste. Now we need to swap this. Oops. We need to do this here. Space and just put in our special character again. Okay. Got a double space in there. See if it looks consistent. Looks good. 2018. Yep. So that's kind of what it should look like. This is the right page. That's the left page. And this is your master pages. So anything that I have A on, it's going to place this folio on the very bottom. And how I know that is double click right now onto your page. Now you can see that letter A goes away, and that 2 arrives on this number 2 page. 3 goes on 3, 4 goes on 4. So that's pretty cool. It automatically does it for you as far as page numbering. So it's kind of a neat way to do this very easily and simply. You can't, if you were to try to select this and change it, you can't do it in this mode, in the actual in the page mode. You have to go right back into master pages, double click on it, and then you can edit it, and it'll change based on what you have these set as. Now the cover, let's see here. Okay, so I think we're good with that. All right. So that's the first thing that I would take care of before anything else. It's like a good step to start out with. And then you can see, let me hide we got a preview mode here. You can see my roll line now. That red roll line, it's kind of being hidden by the margin. So that's my roll line that I just placed in there. You don't have to have that in there, but it's nice. It's a nice divider. Okay, the next thing that I want to do is figure out, let's see here, go back to my assets folder and grab all the copy to place in here and just kind of place it in there, wherever you see where the example, I think there was an example given to you what this should look like. So I'm going to go and get the How to Succeed. That's the first article that should appear on the left side. So I would just do a select all, copy, go back to, go back to your page, take your type tool, go ahead and just take from the left to the right margin, so 2 columns, and just kind of like go around here. That's good. And then just do a Command V, and that'll paste it in there. Okay, so that's the first article. Table of contents goes down here. Let's see here. Sorry if you hear a lot of dinging. I have some people here just messaging me. It's ridiculous. I don't know how to turn it off. All right, the next thing is I want to have table of contents information placed in here. So I'm going to go ahead and grab it. You can't see what I'm doing now. So I'm grabbing the Word file that's, again, given to you guys in, where am I at? In the Assets folder. I'm going to take the Type tool. I'm going to draw another text box under here and paste that in. And I'm going to deal with these later. I'm just pasting in all the articles. I'm going to go to Cyber Tip Awareness article. And that should be over here. Just copy paste. Don't worry about setting this up yet as far as your style sheets. We'll kind of get there. Now I'm going to take my rectangle frame tool and I'm going to draw out a picture box, kind of like that size. And I'm going to align how to succeed article with how to succeed image, and it should be named as such. Put an object fitting fill frame proportionately when you place that in there. And there is that image. The next one would be down here, the cyber one. I'm going to take a rectangle frame tool, Command D, and it should be named appropriately. So cyber aware tip article and cyber aware tip image is a JPEG, and that should be in there. Okay. The next thing I'm going to do is make this a little skinnier in here because this has to be a highlighted box. So I'm going to take my shape tool, my rectangle tool, and I'm going to do a box that goes from here all the way down to here. And I'm going to make it that same blue that we took from the logo, although I'm going to give it a like 20% opacity or 25. Well, let's do 20. 20 is good. And then give it a stroke, red stroke. And the stroke, how do we change this? Okay, let's bring up stroke here. Change it here. Make it a little thicker here. Oops. Okay, what else? I think that's, oh, we have a line to do down here. So I'm going to do the line tool and click and drag it over and hold the shift key down and let it go over to the second end of the second margin column. And we're going to give us a stroke of the red, but we're going to make this the dots. And I'll probably do about 4 points, or yeah, probably like 4 or 3 size points. That's going to divide up your article with your table of contents. All right, with that being said, I'm going to put a wrap on this image, and a wrap, a text wrap, is the text wraps around this box, because right now there's text behind here. So what we need to do, and I don't know if you guys can see this, let me bring up text wrap. You can bring up too on your panel bar. So you want to select the picture that you want the text to wrap around, choose text wrap, and go ahead and choose wrap around bounding box. It'll wrap around this bounding box that you have. Down here, the presets, you can actually choose the clear space in which, and you can see it kind of changing as I do that, in which it gets kind of close to the image itself. I would do at least, I don't know, 0.1875 is a good percentage for that. Now I might have to make my image a little smaller so that this copy is a little easier to read, but we haven't changed anything about that yet as far as the body copy goes. So we'll just kind of wait and see and adjust it as we can. But you can see the text wraps around it. The next thing that I noticed is the headline is in the body copy for this article here, How to Succeed in a Difficult Class. So let's highlight that with your type tool, hit Command C to copy that and delete it out. Because what we're gonna do, we'll pull this down, we're gonna take the type tool, do another type box and do Command V. You're going to type this in. This is going to be the headline. And you need enough room here for it. So we're just going to leave it at that. Same thing over here. We need, why are we doing this here? Hold on. Here we go. Pull this down. And I'm just going to copy and paste cyber tip. That's the headline for that. Okay? All right. So now what we have to do is find out what we want to make our style sheets, you know, how we want that to be assigned as far as typeface, different font, different sizes of font, color, stuff like that. I would start with, let's do a character style sheet. A character style sheet. And character, again, is you're just basically dealing with one or two or a very short headline rather than a whole paragraph. And we're going to hit New Style. We're going to double click on it, and we're going to give it some basic information here. I think the body copy that I want to go shoot for was what? Helvetica New. So we're going to do Helvetica New. We're going to do condensed black, or we'll do 77 condensed. We want it to be bold because this is a headline. We can name this header so that we know that's the header. Character color, we can give it a character color, red or blue or black, whatever you want to do. The size of it can be said here, which I don't really know. Let's hit preview. Let's click OK, and we're going to select this type up here and then go back to character styles to apply it. There we go. Now we can go back, double click on it. If you ever need to change it, that's what we do. And we can go back and adjust the size, kind of what we want to do. Okay. So you could do something like that. Make it bigger. You just have to make the box bigger. Okay. Just make sure you have enough space in between the masthead and you're pulling that close to the image so that it reads together. If you ever need to change it, just select all, go to header, go ahead and change your whatever you need to do. I'm changing my leading right here, which is the space in between your two lines of type. All right, the next thing is your paragraph here, body copy. Let's do a new paragraph style. So this is character style. Let's do paragraph style. We're going to do new, and we're going to name this, double click on it, body copy. Very easy. Basic information, we're going to do a Helvetica new. We're going to do regular, and we're going to do 12 by 14. Typically, it's a 20% difference between the point size and the leading. It's a good ratio. I like to do 10 by 14 a lot, so you know that's something that you'd have to put in there. That's what that looks like. I'm going to click OK. And body copy selected, so I'm good. I'm going to move and this is kind of what you'll be doing. You'll be kind of adjusting and moving things all the time just to see how it works together. And that's okay. That's what you need to be doing. Designers do that all the time. We need to just kind of massage things, get them where they need to be. Make sure this side isn't too narrow. Right now, this doesn't look too bad. If I need to go change the text wrap, just go to Window Text Wrap. I can make this a little smaller. 0.125. I wouldn't go too smaller than that. I think that's good. Now I'll adjust there's like big spaces in here I need to get rid of. So go ahead and get rid of those spaces. Take your type tool, hit delete, and then just put one space instead of crazy space they had in there. All right, the next thing that I want to see how much text is left down here. That looks pretty good. You could divide this up into 2 columns of type instead of just this one going across. And how you would do that is you would go up to type, And I see here, because they changed this. That's always gets me here. No, you would go up to Object, Text Frame Options, and see where it says number 1. You would just change that to 2 and hit Preview. That'll give you 2 columns. Doesn't look like it aligns very well because, let's see. Oh, the gutter width isn't the same. We have to change that to 0.25. So that's how you would do 2 columns. Okay. Baseline options, if you want your use the custom baseline grid, we can set that too. And that basically, click OK. Let me show you what that is. See how this type is set here in 2 columns? The baselines are very aligned. Actually, they aren't here. If I pull down, watch what happens when I pull down a horizontal. Look how they're not lining up baseline-wise. The very bottom of each word isn't lining up. So what we need to do is we need to align the baselines. So go ahead and select Paragraph Styles, Body Copy, double click. Baselines. We might have to do this another way here because I think yeah, we have to select the copy first. So do a select all, body copy. Go to where it says paragraph, pull up your paragraph menu bar, and see at the very bottom of the paragraph bar, it has 2 these like little buttons. One says do not align at baseline grid, one says align. So just click on align. We might have to change the baseline grid. Let's go to preferences and let's go to grids. And oops, okay. Hold on, guys. Did I just mess that up? Show grids, show baseline grid. Okay, so that's how you would see the baseline grid. So you would go up to View, Grid, Show Baseline Grid. And that grid is those blue lines there. Now you can change the grid by going up to the InDesign menu options, go to Preferences, and then go to Grids. And you can change where it starts. I think it started at 0.5 before. You can change it to relative to, top of page, or margin, increments. This can be changed to 12 points. And then down here, grid every 1 inch and 8 subdivisions. If you change this, okay, you can see it adjusting. All right, so we're going to go back to 0.5. Here we go. Let's see. Let's try 14 points. Okay. Now, I'm going to do select all. We're going to change, again, this paragraph style. We're going to change my paragraph. If you don't see paragraph, just go, there we go. Paragraph. There it is. Okay, so select that. And what's going to happen is you're going to see this little plus sign in your paragraph styles because it's saying, hey, you changed something here, but it's not quite showing up anywhere else. So what we need to do is we need to double click on this and make sure that we are that we're choosing the baseline grid within here as well. Okay. So with that selected, go to indents and spacings, and then align to grid is all lines. You can align it to your grid that way. And click OK. And anytime you change this grid, like let's change it to 10 point, it's going to align to that. Okay, and then all the way across it's going to align. The only thing with this is the leading is a little off. So we're going to change the leading here. So see where it says 14, we're going to go, I just double clicked on the body copy. I went to basic character formats, and I'm just going to choose auto for that. Click OK. And what that's going to do is going to give me a better width ratio for that. But everything's aligned. You can see kind of how it's aligned here. I'm going to get rid of seeing this grid because it drives me crazy sometimes to see it. So I'm going to hide baseline grid. And I'm going to, where's my grids? Yeah, grid. All right, so that looks good. All right, so let me take a 5-minute break and we'll get going on the rest of this. We're pretty much at a good point to stop just for a quick break, and I'll go forward with everything else that we need to do. Be back in 5 minutes. Okay, looks like we're back here. So we aligned our baselines. That's kind of where we left off here, so that the first and second column are all working and all very even with each other. So you need to do that also over here. So what we need to do is just select our copy, select all with the type tool, and find your style, paragraph styles. If you don't have them, go up to styles, paragraph. I don't know where mine went. Choose the body copy. And looks like this didn't quite change. So let's go ahead and double click on this and go back to where it says leading is 12. That looks good. We might need to go back to our paragraph panel. Just to make sure. Where are we at here? Oh, yes. Yeah, it's aligned. Good. Okay. So there must be something else going on here. Body copy, body copy. Let's pull this up. Maybe that's what's going on. Oh, it looks like maybe we have a different baseline over here, but that's really weird. Let's take a look. .5, 10.75. That shouldn't really change, but we'll see. Grids. Yep, it's the same. Interesting. Let me just check my my characters or my paragraph style here. See what's going on. Body copy. 10, 12. Vatican new. Okay, let me check. Just seems like there is some spacing issues here, and I don't know, it's the same on this side. So something weird is going on here, and I can't figure it out. It almost seems like I set a grid within this column. So let me check it out. That's the document grid, by the way. We're gonna hide that. Very, very strange. All right, well, looks like we have some weird things going on here. I'm not quite sure why this isn't aligning with the paragraph style, but let's do, okay, here. Yeah, see, it's like swapping with like the paragraph. Let's see here. Just really weird. I've never had this happen before. let's take this off real quick. Let's do select all. I'm going to take it back to that. I'm almost wondering if, oh, it says it is. It's interesting. Slides all, let's put it back. Yeah. In the front, yeah, that's really weird. Well, all I can say is I'm not quite sure what's going on here. I applied the paragraph style sheet just like I did over here. I'm not sure why this is giving me so much problems. The baseline's there, 10 and 12. It's just really strange. Okay, so if I do none, it kind of goes back to none. Okay, let's do this. I'm just trying to do a couple things here. I'm going to redefine this. And then I'm going to change the leading. Just trying a couple things here to so do like 11 and 11. And 11. We want paragraph styles. Let's change this to 11 and 11. And it's still not giving me the right stuff here. Yeah, I don't know. Let me do something real quick here. Let me change this again back to where we were. I just want to see something. I'm just going to delete this copy out of here and I'm going to paste it back in. Let me go to my Word file. Sometimes that happens where it gets goofy. Yeah, something weird's going on here. There must be a space in here that maybe is not allowing it to be what it needs to be here. It's really weird. I can't really make out what the heck's going on. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do sidebar. I'm going to name this completely new paragraph style. I'm going to name it sidebar. And look how this changed up here. Interesting. Okay. Something funky is happening because I have Helvetica New Regular here. But up here, it's telling me it's something else. Very strange. Okay, well, anyway, I'm going to change this and hopefully we'll get back to where we were. Condensed, 10 and 12 and a regular. Oh, this isn't even, this is Helvetica regular. to match that. There we go. Helvetica regular. Oh, that's Helvetica. Okay. I'm all over the place here. Sorry, guys. Helvetica 1. Let's try to find that. I'm just trying to keep it consistent. Helvetica T1 regular. There we go. And I don't want this to be blue, so I have to go back to my character style. Where is my character style? Oh, I think I know what's going on. Now I just open up my character style, and I noticed that this is actually on header, and it should be none. So I'm almost wondering if that was the problem. Okay, anyway, sidebar and character style should be on none. All lines, everything looks good. I'm not quite sure why this is the way it is. There we go. I think let me trash this one. I think we're at the same spot now. Meaning it's consistent now. There we go. Now, the only thing is the baseline grids aren't matched up. So let's go back and try to do that again. I think that's what's messing us up here. Yeah, see how that changes that? None. Paragraph style, perfect. Let's do redefine. Oh, I didn't want to do that. Let's do apply body copy. There we go. Yay, finally. It works. All right, I'm not sure what was going on, but finally I was able to apply it. Let's bring this down and call it a night. That's crazy. It's crazy. You can adjust these so that the baselines, like for instance, see how this column's even now on the very baseline parts of here. We can definitely do that. Let me go and change this headline to our header so that it matches where we were. Make sure it aligns, you know, with the article next to it. And then I would just pull this up and align it with your margins here within your text here. Okay. Sorry about all the confusion there. I got kind of carried away with some of this craziness of the baseline alignment there. The bottom part, the content, table contents, what we need to do is let me show guides. Okay, what we need to do is create a completely new paragraph style again for this. Let's get rid of that and let's go to your paragraph style. And let's do a new paragraph style. We're going to name this table of contents. And this is going to be Helvetica, just like we did, just maybe a little bigger, maybe a little bolder. Okay, maybe even a different color, maybe the dark blue. We're going to have a tab, so go to tab. And the tab is going to be a right justified tab, which will be where your page number ends, kind of like what we did on your menu. And we're going to have a leader. So we're going to put dot right where the leader is and click OK. So now click inside the very end of table of contents, or actually that's going to be changed. How to succeed in class at the very end. Hit tab and you'll see the leader appear. And then type the letter 1. Do the same thing over here. Cyberware tips. Take your type tool, click at the very end, hit tab, page number 1. And that's just basically the little table of contents that you're telling people these are where the articles are. Tab and 4. I'm going to choose table of contents. I'm going to change this to new paragraph style, table of contents head. And I'm going to make this just slightly bigger, and then also the character color will change to red instead, just to kind of make it jump out from the rest of that. It doesn't become part of the articles. So that's kind of what it looks like right now. I can pull this line up just slightly to help balance things so it's not so crammed down here. Okay, just be aware of your alignment. This, for some reason, is giving me a 25%. Okay, what we're going to do is we're going to do a none for this. Actually, I don't mind it. You could do something like that. That's fine. I mean, I don't think that looks too bad. I was going to say put like the red border. Just take the border off and put another border over. I'm not quite sure why this is making it a screened opacity. And I guess I have to do 2 different boxes. So that's pretty much what you do for this part. And then you're going to skip these 2 pages, although you want to make sure the folio is at the bottom. And at the very bottom of this one, so page number 4 is, let me show you the screen here. So we did all of this. And we're going to leave pages 2 and 3 blank because week 4 we're going to adjust that. Page 4 we're going to place the graduation ad, which is in the assets folder that I just showed you. We're going to leave the bottom half utilizes a mailing panel, so just leave it blank and remove any page number or any other elements from the bottom of the page so that it is mailable. And then after everything looks good, we're going to do a PDF export and with a packaged file and zip it. Okay, so let's go back and do that. Oops, sorry. Where am I at here? So in your assets folder, first let's get rid of this folio. See on page 4? See page 4 down here? What we're going to do is we're going to just drag. See how it says A on there? We're just going to go up to where it says none. And we're going to click and drag that right over just page 4 so that folio goes away. We don't want it. We want it on these 3 pages, the very bottom, but not on the last page because it's going to be mailed out. And then we're going to take your rectangle frame tool and go ahead and just draw out kind of like a box like this from the left and the right margin. And then do a Command D. And once you have that assets folder, go and search for the ad that's going to be placed here. And it's called graduation ad. And it's already designed. Go ahead and place it. Go object, fitting, fill frame proportionally. And just make sure it's in your margins, nicely and nothing's getting cut off. You can, if you want, add a return address down here. I've had students do that. That would be just like the name of the magazine and then kind of like their address. But, you could leave it like this. This is fine. Okay. So this is kind of what it should look like so far. And then next week, we'll do the inside part of this. All right. So now we're going to save this as, we're going to package this. So we're going to go File, So we're going to save it, and then we're going to go File, Package. And we're going to just make sure everything's checked, including the PDF. And this can be the smallest file PDF. That's fine. I'm going to change it to desktop. You're just going to save it to your desktop with the PDF included. Very similar to what you guys did before, so shouldn't be an issue if you didn't have any problems before. So I'm going to open up my PDF so you can see what it looks like in that folder. Okay. So open up your PDF, make sure it looks good. Oh, you know what we forgot to do? Something I forgot to tell you guys. I caught myself. See how this is vertical, all these pages? It should be facing pages. So I'd have to go back into my Cork file. Or, geez, going back to my Cork days, I guess, right? Not Cork. We're not in Cork. Go back to InDesign. It's been a long day, guys. Sorry. We're going to do this again. We're going to go File, Package, and pay attention to this because I obviously wasn't. Package. Oh, you know what? I don't think I'm going to be able to do it. Your PDF, you're going to want to do that first before you do anything. So you go File, PDF Presets, smallest file. So do this first. Make the PDF first so that you can choose spreads. Okay. And export, click OK, save that to your desktop. And then File Package. And whenever this comes up where you have to check the PDF, just uncheck it. Because there's no way that you can go in and change the settings for PDF, so it will just show single pages. Okay, we're just going to save this to, we're going to save this new. So this is how it should look as far as the PDF is concerned. Really? Oh no, my God. 1 sec, guys. I forgot to say all for the range pages. There we go. So this is what your PDF should look like. Sorry, guys. I'm doing all the things that you shouldn't do. Okay, so it should be the first cover or the front of the newsletter, and then it should have your inside spread shown like that, and then your last cover. Okay, and then what you would do is just go ahead and dump, and I'll show you real quick, this PDF into that folder. And that folder is what you're going to zip. So this folder is your package folder. So you just threw this in there. You're going to do an control click for compress. And this is the zip file that you'll submit. All right. Let me know if you have any questions. I know I kind of had a little issue going with the baseline grids or baseline alignment, but you know, we kind of figured it out as we were talking. So let me know if you have any questions. Like I said, there's a lot of information there. Don't let it overwhelm you. Just kind of go by each step, kind of how I did it, and try to figure it out. All right, I wanted to show you guys the assessment very quickly here. I'm not going to go step by step because I think this is your test on how you guys go about this once you are learning all of the things that we're getting into here in InDesign. This is kind of you're showing me that you know how to do this. So just read through this background information, and basically what this is you're creating a postcard And you're given a new dimension for this. So it's a completely new document. So it's going to be 4.25 high by 6 inches wide with 1.5 inch, or I'm sorry, 1/4 bleed, a quarter margin. Uncheck your spreads so you don't have to do spreads, and then it should be 2 pages. You're going to import paragraph and character styles you utilize in your menu design or from the document below. You can open your paragraph style panel, and it's kind of showing you exactly how to do this. Go to the style panel options, lines in upper right hand corner, load all styles. Double click on your menu file, InDesign file, load your styles. Often importing style sheets will import the necessary colors as well. If they did not come in, follow the above instructions within the swatches panel. So basically what you're doing is this is not really connected to your newsletter. This is connected to your menu that we did in week 2. So you're just creating this postcard that is going to be cohesive and consistent with your menu brand that you did in week 2. And you're going to place one of the menu item photos from your project on page 1, filling the page space edge to edge and extending the frame to all bleeds, or utilize the photo below. Using your character or paragraph style sheet, add a headline, buy one, get one half off on the photo. You may change the color of the text so it is suitable for the design. On page 2, insert the copy provided below. Apply your paragraph and style sheets and any other elements from your menu to help this to match it. Add the logo to page 1 or 2 or both. This postcard will not be mailed, so you may use all the available space on both sides of the card. You can name it as such, and you're going to package it and zip it as well. Here's a sample document if you do not have the style sheets from week 2's assignment. You also have downloaded the zip, which includes text for page 2 of this postcard. It also contains assets to complete this assessment if you do not complete your menu, where you would get all of the other content from the steps above. So basically what you're doing is you are going to be creating a postcard. And I kind of already have this demoed out. I'm going to open up the original file that I created that is cohesive with my where'd it go here? Is cohesive with my menu. So this is the after. So I created the size. I have the logo. This is the only thing you need on the front as far as type goes. Buy one, get one half off. And a focal point image. So definitely, keep it simple. The back side, page 2, buy one, get one half off. This information is given to you in the information in that assessment. So you need to just see how I have the hierarchy of the headline, and then everything else kind of goes into different scale. So what's the most important information first needs to be bigger. Everything else kind of goes smaller. The very, very bottom 2 paragraphs of this text should be kind of like fine print, where it's around 8-point type. Everything else is kind of in between, and then the header. I just placed the logo here. I just thought it was a nice balance. It went really well with the front and back cover. I don't know if I have this. I thought I had the actual. I do. It's not opening. Okay, it's telling me I have some linked issues here, but I'm going to open up my InDesign file so you can at least see. I just did a front and back page here, placed in my copy. I have this little color block back here that has a 74 transparency, and oh, my type didn't come through. That's what I must have, a weird linked type that didn't quite come through. But do anything on the back that you think is cohesive with the front. You want to make sure that it's readable in the back. You don't have to make it look like it's being mailed out. You don't have to have a space for a stamp and all that. When you're done, you just package it up, and zip it. Okay. So that's pretty much what you're doing for your assessment. You don't, I mean, obviously you're importing your styles in there, so you're going to have, everything ready to go so that you can keep it cohesive with your menu. So the type that you use here should be the type that you used on your menu. The overall look of this should look similar to your menu as well. So keep it consistent. If you have any questions, let me know. Otherwise, I'm going to wrap this up. You guys have a great night. I'll see you guys on the boards, and let me know if you have any questions.